Oh, hey guys, it's me, Foxy. Misa asked me if I could do a collab with him. That I react to some of his videos on his channel. So yeah, let's see how that turns out. And I'm missing my ear, so yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start reacting to let me check what it was. I got stuck in an elevator. I've I've I'm done in there. My animation story. So let's get started.
I'm Charlie. I'm 19 years old, and I spent a whole 10 hours alone with a beautiful girl. In a broken elevator. It was enough time to overcome our insecurities and show each other our best side. Everything
Oh, hey
went
Foxy, what are you
wrong.
reacting to? Right.
It happened on Christmas
I'm
Eve.
trying to
I
react
hopped into
to
the
this
elevator and saw that my
animation.
riding companion on a trip to the
Oh,
sixth
can
floor
I
was a
see?
very
No.
pretty girl. I
Okay,
took
it's your
a
first
deeper
kiss,
breath
buddy.
to better smell the scent of her perfume as the elevator jolted and froze. I was
Stop!
confused,
Freeze,
wondering
stop!
what had happened
Stop!
as she was already trying to
Damn!
report the problem to the elevator service. Strange, no one's answering. I'm Dina, she said, smiling. And I'm Charlie. She looked at me questioningly, expecting me to say something else, but absolutely nothing crossed my mind.
Get out here, Fanny.
Time passed, and I continued to be silent, trying to look completely at ease as if I were not embarrassed by the awkward silence. I really wanted to get to know her better. When would I ever get another chance like this? I just couldn't figure out where to start. She spoke first. This is taking a long time. I hope we'll be out in time for the holiday. I heard that someone once spent 42 hours in a broken elevator. I fell silent when I saw her looking at me with frightened eyes. What was I doing? I'm a complete moron. An hour passed. After two, we were sitting on the floor with backs propped against the not-so-clean elevator walls. After 4 hours, we were rummaging through all of our belongings in search of at least some kind of food. After 5 hours, we split a piece of candy that Dina found in her bag. After 6 hours, we felt like we had known each other for about 100 years. At this very cool moment of our imprisonment, I suddenly realized that more than anything, even more than Dina, I wanted only one thing. I urgently needed a toilet. Dina noticed that something was wrong with me. I didn't want to talk, but I couldn't hold it anymore. She quickly pulled an empty water bottle out of her bag. Here you go. Do it. I shook my head. I couldn't do it in front of her. Yes, come on. There will only be a real problem if I have to go. A bottle's not going to save me. Take it, and I will turn away. I tried, but nothing worked. It seemed like it was already up to my ears, but I could not squeeze a single drop out of me. You will hear. I can't. Dina put on her headphones, but that didn't work either. Then she turned on some loud music on her phone so that I would be distracted. So, standing in the far corner of the elevator with my back to Dina, while a relaxing Sting song was playing, I finally did it. I put the lid on the bottle and bashfully put it behind my backpack. I was about to thank her when the elevator started moving again. The doors opened and we were released. We were almost gone when we heard a loud scream from the technician. Guys, you forgot your lemonade! I had to go back for that damn bottle. I never got Dina's number. It was somehow a little awkward after that. So that's when we parted ways. Thank you for listening to my story.
Bonus story.
Hi everyone, my name's Marcus and I'm 16. I'm not a fan of romantic comedies, candlelit dinners, and all that love nonsense. I have my dog Harry and I don't need anybody else. Every morning I walk him in a park, but on the day of July 21st, being irritated by occasional strangers in order to avoid any contact, I turned onto a small path covered with grass and leading down to the lake. But even that place wasn't empty. There was a girl sitting on a very cozy bench in the shade of an old oak. She was dressed in a long-sleeved dress, opaque tights, and closed shoes. whole outfit was not for that weather. Suddenly, she gave me such a simple and open look that a flicker of
Oh
a
god, I'm
smile
getting
flashed
bored of
across my
this.
face.
I'm gonna
The stranger blushed and looked down, embarrassed.
if that's okay
It was
with
clear that my
you, okay?
uninvited appearance was
Let's see
quite
here.
unpleasant for her. Trying to maintain my dignity, I've stayed there for 5 more minutes and hurried to leave. The next morning, it was the same story. Our eyes met again, and there was disappointment. She must have been annoyed by the fact that I disturbed her privacy.
Okay, this one.
Perhaps you're wondering why I don't move my lips when I'm talking. After this incident, I could never speak again. Here's why. Me and a group of friends thought that our graduation class couldn't be held without something exotic. We went to Chinatown to see the traditional festive celebrations of the Chinese New Year. From Coney Island, it was only an hour's journey. In our company was my buddy and rival, Rob. We're friends from our very first class and always tried to surpass each other. No, we're not enemies. On the contrary, Rob's my best friend. We joined the football team together, both becoming linebackers and both trying to woo Casey, a girl who was the captain of the cheerleader squad. Only he understood my desire to be the best at everything I did, because he was the same. In general, Rob and I constantly competed, teased each other, sometimes even humiliated each other. Gradually, our rivalry became more aggressive. Do you have a friend like Rob? We walked to Chinatown and saw the dragons, the bright folk costumes. I was delighted. Suddenly, Rob began to roast me, like I was behaving like an uncultured savage who'd never seen a real festival. I pretended that the carnival didn't impress me, and Rob said, "If you're so cool, Wet Willie a Chinese guy?" The rest of the group supported him. If I refused, I would lose face. I spotted a middle-aged Chinese man of medium stature who probably wouldn't be able to catch me. He was admiring the fireworks with his jacket thrown over his shoulders, as if he'd just come out of somewhere for a moment.
I feel sick.
Well, I crept up behind him, clasped his head in my hand so that he wouldn't break away, licked my index finger, and thrust it into the poor guy's ear. Rob had wet willied me in the past, and I knew just how disgusting it was. I released my victim and fled under the laughter of my friends. I guess it sounds terrible, right? You're thinking this jerk ran up to Wet Willie a stranger only because I was being teased a little. How would you have felt in the Chinese man's shoes? Well, I paid dearly for this stupid act. We decided to end the day with a trip to a nearby Chinese restaurant. We went into the hall where the Chinese dined. The kitchen was open there, and we could hear the sizzling of oil. The smell coming from the kitchen was delicious. I noticed that a group of gentlemen at the next table were eating something strange. From the scales I could see, I surmised that it must have been snake. Rob decided to show how cool he was and said that he had learned from his dad how to eat snake. Then he added that I wasn't brave enough to try or the snake dish. What you needed to do before eating the dish was an adventure unto itself. While the snake was roasting, Rob brought out its heart, which beats for some time after it's cut from the body. You need to swallow the heart before it stops beating, and follow it with a shot of vodka mixed with a single drop of poison. We weren't 21, but that restaurant didn't care. Rob did this without even blinking. I realized that I needed to outdo him, and so I asked the restaurant to fry me a whole snake, leaving its head intact. I had the idea that if I bit off the head of a snake, everyone would be impressed. That was my fatal mistake. When they brought out the covered dish, I wanted to impress everyone, so I quickly opened the lid and grabbed the snake. I wanted to bite off its cooked head. I was serious, so I did it quickly and without looking. And then, after a couple of seconds, I realized something. The snake was alive. I was in shock. My jaw opened instinctively, and the snake bit me right on the tongue. The pain was phenomenal. I spat out the reptile's head, and I fell in agony to the floor. My jaw felt like it was pierced by 100 hot needles. Tears pouring from my eyes, and I heard a terrible scream, only to realize that it was me who was shouting. I've never been so scared. My friends and other people in the restaurant ran to me, but I pushed everyone away in my hysteria. The last thing I remember seeing was the same man who I'd wet willied earlier. He stood not far from me, dressed like a cook. I then passed out from the pain. When I woke up in hospital, there were bandages on my face, but in my mouth I felt numb, like a dentist had had to pull a tooth, but far stronger. I tried to call out to somebody, but only a moan escaped my mouth. I didn't know what had happened, but then a doctor came in and explained everything. My tongue had been amputated.
Okay?
The snake wasn't too venomous, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to save me. And a serum had been introduced in time, but the snake hadn't bitten me on the finger, but on the tongue. That was the problem. Rapid necrosis had begun on my tongue, and the doctors had had to remove most of my tongue. Their actions had saved my life, they said, but now I
Wow.
would never taste ice cream, never French kiss a girl, and most importantly, never speak again.
Poor him.
At first,
Poor him.
I hated the Chinese cook.
Oh,
Because of a prank, I had lost my tongue.
Poor
He
him.
lied to
Poor
the
him.
cops and
Poor him.
portrayed the whole thing as an accident. Rob totally agreed with me. When I was in the hospital recovering, he often visited me and even promised to learn sign language in order to understand me. I really appreciated it. I thought he was my best friend. What an idiot I was. What I later discovered shocked me so much that I lost faith in friendship forever. Rob came to me a week later when I was discharged. He talked a lot. What else could he do? I couldn't exactly hold a conversation. Suddenly, he said that he had recognized the face of the cook who had lain the snake on the dish. What? Rob had seen what had happened? He had known who the chef was and didn't even try to warn me? I drove him away, my heart breaking with resentment. I soon found out that he had begun dating the girl I was crushing on from the cheerleader squad, Casey. He deliberately didn't warn me to get rid of an opponent. What a friend! Do you have friends? Do you believe you can trust them? Tell me in the comments below. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel.
Not this, oh my god. I'm so sorry. Well, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.